To win some epic
Back to the Smoke-In Studios for another live episode of the Rocky Mountain Cigar Show. I skipped last week. We were at Cigar Fest, and lo and behold, I happened to run into our guest tonight and wasn't able to reschedule him for next week, but we had something drop tonight, and he agreed to come on. So it just so happened to work out. We get to have Ream from Zino Cigars on tonight. Last week was awesome. For everyone that came up and said hi to me that was at Cigar Fest, thank you so much. It was a lot of fun to see everyone, and it was a lot of fun to be able to see all the friends of the show again, as well as to get to hang out with some really great industry leaders. So no more breaks for a little bit, but I will make sure to announce additional breaks. So enough about me. Nobody, again, I always think everybody comes here to remotely hear what I have to say, but that's not the case. Everybody comes here for the guest. And I tell you, the guest we're bringing on tonight's a lot easier on the eyes than this. I got a face for radio, and let me tell you. How you doing, Law? Law? Can you hear us? Hello?
I can't hear anything.
Okay. I hear you. How is that?
I have no audio coming out of my end.
That's crazy. Can you hear me now?
There we go.
Okay, so
Yeah,
that was
there we go.
weird. So I had full audio coming out, and it just didn't have it for you, I guess. Okay. Well, how you doing, Law?
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us tonight.
Good. Now that I'm out of purgatory, everything happening, and I couldn't hear anything. I was like, this is normal, right?
Well, I have all the monitor and stuff turned off, so I don't listen to any of the before show stuff. But that was weird that you couldn't hear me. Don't worry, I said nothing but awful things about you. But no, super excited to have you on tonight. I'm really glad we were able to get this rescheduled and make this fit. For you to spend a night with us.
Yes.
Law is currently on the road. For those of you that follow Law, you will know that the road is his home now.
Yes.
So Law, tell everybody where you are and a little bit about yourself.
I just pulled into Lisle, Illinois about 30 minutes ago. Checked into my hotel. That's why I don't have a cigar. I mean, I didn't have enough time to set up an ashtray and get some power to my laptop. But I'm Ream. I'm the Zino ambassador for Davidoff, for their Zino Nicaragua cigar. And I just travel the country meeting people and giving them a free cigar so they can try it.
Now you traveled the country, and Law was this was the first year that the yellow what do you call it? The yellow bus,
I call it the banana.
the banana.
44 feet of yellow.
Yeah, and let me tell you guys, it was shined up. He must that team just must polished it. It was reflecting the sun. It looked actually really really good. So
I'm glad you appreciate that, because my detailer canceled on me the day before, and I had to take it through a drive-through car wash the old school where you have to like wash it yourself.
Oh, you were in the bay washing it all?
Yeah, I was in a camper wash station to get it all ready, because it was just covered in bugs from that drive from Illinois to Denver.
Oh man. So where I gotta ask you, where's home base for that thing? And do you live in a really nice HOA that like lets you park this at your house or
No, I live like 10 feet from Davidoff's headquarters in St. Petersburg, Florida. And so I get to park it in the parking lot and walk home.
Oh, okay. Well, that's convenient.
Yeah.
So I gotta ask you, let's kind of start back here a little bit at the beginning. Because I followed you for a while, but I followed you just from one aspect of your world. I didn't realize that you also did some marketing for actual industry manufacturers and stuff like that. I'm familiar with your YouTube podcast type stuff. So, can we start back at the beginning of how you got brought into the cigar world and then kind of walk into the podcasting side?
Yeah, absolutely. So I used to do marketing for hotel chains and restaurant chains. And it was going really well. And at the time, I was tailgating with some friends, and they're like, "Hey, do you mind if we go over to our other friends, tailgate?" And it happened to be Nick Perdomo, who I didn't know at all at the time. I've been smoking cigars for 18 years, but I'd never heard of Perdomo. And so after like 3 seasons of that, he's like, "Why don't you guys come out to Nicaragua, check out my factory?" And I thought he was just like a small little guy. He would always bring like a bundle of like, Perdomo frescoes or something. So I was like, "Yeah, sure, we'll go check your factory out," and realize he's a much bigger deal than I figured.
Huge.
Huge, yeah. So I was like, "Hey, why don't you let me take some photos for you? Hire me to do some work." And he's like, "Nah, we got people. Don't worry about it." And eventually, I wore him down, and he hired me. And he's like, "Holy shit, you're actually pretty good at this." And that was. And then the pandemic came, and it wiped out all my other business. So I had hotels, restaurants, and events, and all that disappeared. So Perdomo was my only client, and I was like, "Hey, we should be doing a YouTube channel during the pandemic. Like nobody else is doing this, no manufacturers doing it." And we blew that up, and from there, I just took it to all the other manufacturers. I was like, "I could do this for you too."
So you started with Perdomo, and then how quickly did you add your second one?
Probably like a year and a half. A year and a half in, I picked up Drew Estate.
Okay. And that's obviously how you met Jack Heyer, friend of both of ours.
Yes.
You know Jack much better than me. I like to call him a close friend, but I don't speak to him as much as I'd like to. And then obviously when he went over to Davidoff, you were kind of in consideration for brand ambassador spot, right? That he talked to you about.
So if for those of your viewers who haven't met Jack, like he's a wonderful person. And I was just like, when he left to go to Davidoff, he had to move from Miami to Tampa, which is about 4 hours away. And I felt like we had broken up because we were having such a good time working together. So I was like, if anything at Davidoff opens up, let me know. And he's like, "Well, you got your thing. You don't need this." I was like, "But I want to hang out with you." So position opened up, and he was like, "Hey, man," he's like, "We got a position, but I don't think you should take it." I was like, "Why?" He goes, "It's a tough job." And I was like, "Nah, it can't be that hard." So I took it, and he was like, "Look, if you survive 3 months, I will give you a bonus out of my pocket."
So did he actually give you the bonus out of your? No, I'm just totally kidding. You don't have to answer that.
No,
Because
actually, we were joking. He would give me like, because if you recruit someone for Davidoff, you get like
finder's
a
fee.
little, yeah, a little finder's fee. And so I got married like on a whim. It was like a Monday in the office. I was like, hey, I'm going to get married. Does anyone want to come with? And Jack came with, and he spent the whole finder's fee on of our drinks for the wedding.
That's awesome. Yeah, Jack is a very, very nice guy. Any of you guys ever get an opportunity to meet Jack Hayer, definitely take that opportunity.
He's the best. He's
He's a
hilarious.
gem. He's a
He
gem,
has
and
such
he's
sense
really
of
funny.
humor, and it's amazing.
Yes, yes, he fits in. He fits in really well within the industry.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we moved into you're over at Zino. So kind of you do a lot for Zino. You don't just you're more than just the ambassador. You take over in a few different areas inside of the marketing thing. So what is your actual title at Zino?
So my title is brand activation manager. So I'm like managing the activation of branded events. But it's a lot more than that. Davidoff is very much a company where it's like you can either do your job or you can go and do above, like you can do whatever you want outside of that too. Like if you want to create programs, if you want to, just run it up the flag and we'll say yes or no. So they're very open to just letting you be creative and try new things if it makes sense to them.
That works perfectly for you
Yeah.
because you had to be creative to kind of even put yourself in a position to get the job.
Yes.
So that fits perfectly. Now, Bruce, I know you've been smoking a very long, long time.
Yeah.
I cannot believe you're asking Zino question mark. Zino Cigars, Zino Davidoff, Zino Nicaragua. So since the question came up of Zino question mark, which shocks me coming from you, Bruce, Law, give everybody a little brief history around Zino, when the brand was created. I'll tell everybody, before Law, the brand was hurting. Law has rejuvenated it and brought it back into the forefront in many, many ways. So I commend you on that because you've definitely made Zino a bigger brand than it was with a bigger stamp, I think, over the last couple of years. So give everybody a brief history over Zino Davidoff and the Zino brand.
All right. So the Zino Nicaragua has nothing to do with the Zino Platinum, right? Zino Nicaragua has been around for about 2.5 years. The Platinum's been around since 1992. So the Platinum's like a very ultra premium cigar, whereas the Nicaragua is a value cigar. And there's a good reason why Davidoff decided to do that, because everyone's like, why is Davidoff making a $7 cigar? This makes no sense at all. It pays homage to Zino Davidoff. His name is actually Henri Davidoff, but his nickname was Zino. It pays homage to him because he had this super nice shop in Geneva, Switzerland, and he would let anyone come in. Didn't matter if you were, the president of the country or the homeless guy down the street. As long as you were clean, you can come in, get free coffee, get some cookies, buy your cigars. And and he did have like homeless people coming in, and he treated them just as good as anyone else. So they're like, hey, we need to, go back to our roots and create a cigar that Zino would be proud of. And that cigar should be like available to everybody. It shouldn't be out of reach like most of the Davidoff portfolio is. So they made a very easy to get into cigar. It's absolutely amazing. Like we could have charged $20 for it, no problem.
It's a very good cigar.
Very good cigar. Great flavor out of it. It's light on the nicotine. Like it has barely any nicotine in it, but you get like a medium body flavor out of it somehow. And then it's very straightforward. There's no complex transitions. So if you're a new smoker, it's very like first third, second third, final third, and it's like it's made for new smokers.
Yeah, and it was being very, very widely accepted at Cigar Fest this year. Your line was some of the longest lines there around the banana. And you were handing them out like a madman too. Let me tell you, nobody hands out a box of cigars faster than Law. You'd think he was an octopus.
Yeah, we
Um,
handed out 1,300 cigars. We ran out of everything. Like we were even opening display boxes and handing cigars out of there.
so what has been what has been something that you had no understanding of the industry before you got in and working directly with Zino now? Like, what was a
Uh,
surprise? What was
so that's
something you thought was different than it turned out to be?
you know my big surprise is the retailers, right? So like every retailer is extremely unique. There's no two shops you walk into and have like a feeling of like I've been here before. So like I didn't I just thought I'd be showing up and doing the same thing over and over and over, and every single event has been different. I think we were up to like 85 events so far with this brand, and every event's been unique in some way or another because every single shop is completely different. Like the vibe, the ownership, the layout, like everything is like there's no two shops that are alike. Even if there's like a chain of shops, they're all different from each other. So I thought it was going to be easy, cookie cutter. Here's the event, plug and play, and it's not like that at all. Every single shop has its own soul, its own personality, and it's been fascinating, getting to experience that.
And so you're at 85 events this year.
No, that's combines the 42 we did last year. I've done
Okay,
about
okay.
40, 41, 42 this year so far.
So far.
Yeah.
So of the 84 events or 85 events, what has been what have you learned that is kind of the same underlining aspect to every lounge?
I don't think there is. There is no one underlining aspect. Like they're all so unique, and the customers are unique, and the staff are unique. Like there's the only thing that connects them all is they have cigars.
Okay. Well, I assume you're going to every lounge, big, smaller, and different, or is there certain sizes that you guys are doing these at?
No, it's I hit brand new accounts, like accounts we just opened with. The newest one was like it only been open for 6 weeks. And I also hit accounts that are so old that their number with Davidoff is 7. Their customer number is number 7. So I've seen it all.
So how is this uh tour across the US working out for Zino Nicaragua since you've been on? Because they don't let you sit very often.
No.
They keep you like Jack. Now you do understand why Jack goes, it's a lot.
Yeah.
But at least he was honest with you. But so, like, how has this experience been? Has it been leaps and bounds above and beyond fruitful for this, or kind of what's that experience been like?
For the brand, it's been amazing. Like Zeno this year is up 30% year over year.
All because of you, brother. I told you that. I told you that.
I mean, we have some great sales reps. Like every single sales rep we have has a really good relationship with their customers. Like, that's another thing I love about this industry is it's all based on relationships. There's no other industry like it. But no, the tour has been amazing. Like last year, nobody had heard of Zeno, right? So every shot they're like, "What is this thing? Tell me about it." This year, people are like, "Yes, the Zeno guy's here. Give me the free cigar." So it's grown very quickly, and we've only hit like 5 or 6 shops that we hit last year. Most of them have been new stops. So the fact that like people are recognizing the brand in less than a year is pretty crazy. As far as personally, it is rewarding and exhausting at the same time. Like I was just talking with at Rocky Mountain. I was talking with some of the other guys, and they're like, "I've been doing this for 20 years. Like you haven't even pulled your pants up yet, boy." And I'm like, brother, I was like, I don't just do events. I drive to them. I have to like do maintenance on the trailer, and then I do the event. The event's like a 2-hour setup, a 5-hour event, a 1-hour breakdown. Then I get back on the road. Like
You're
not
your own roadie.
Yeah, pretty much. Yes. Never thought of it that way. Maybe I should like start having different hats.
You should put on a roadie hat when you're doing your thing.
Like I'm the setup low.
Yeah. You know what would actually be kind of fun that I think would, I don't know. I've been thinking about this since I radiated Cigar Fest and actually got to see what that thing looks like. I mean, it's pretty impressive. It's big, guys.
Yeah.
Should do
We
a-
didn't
you-
even have everything out. That
I
was, like,
know
half
you didn't.
Yeah.
I know because I've seen pictures of it fully set up, and then just to see it though, like it's impressive. It's big. You said it's 31 feet.
44 feet from
40
the
feet.
front of the van to the back of the trailer.
So it's a semi. You're driving a semi across. You're driving a semi trailer more or less across the country.
Yeah, pretty much. Don't need a CDL license though.
No, you don't. No, you
I have
don't.
to follow most of the same rules.
You know, it'd be fun for you guys to maybe do like a birthday party contest.
What do you mean?
You guys can do like a drawing or a raffle over like a year long or 6 month, and you'll show up at the birthday party. I think
mean-
that would be fun.
I mean, what if we're back in Florida and somebody in California wins? That would be tough to do.
Well, you just tell them next time you're in town. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. That worked. Yeah, you know, like I said, you think about these things, you just spitball. They don't always work out. But no, I was just like, that'd be kind of cool
Yeah.
though. Like, have you over at a birthday, like big old cigar birthday party, you know, the big old Zino truck. I think that'd be kind of cool.
I keep telling people, it's like they need to, because I get offers all the time to do like golf events and police events and like all these other events. I'm like, somebody needs to copy what we're doing, but do it on a direct to consumer level.
Yeah, because you guys don't sell direct to consumer from the van, right?
No, we just the trailer. We
Or
just
the
give
trailer.
away stuff free to support sales for the shop.
See, they need to get a second version of you that
Yeah.
then follows you around that does the sales. So, well, so you've been doing this now. You've done 80 so plus events. Where are your top 5 cities you've been to so far?
Oh, that's tough because there's like the experience of the city versus the experience of the shop.
I'll put it this way.
So are you asking for the city or are you asking?
Your personal law, not at a shop. What has been your favorite city?
My favorite city so far is Eureka Springs, Arkansas, which is like a town that's like seems like it's 200 years old. Like it hasn't aged at all. It seems like all the residents that live there are just like, you know, little teen witches. They're just like, and every house is dedicated or decorated so unique and cool. And at night when you drive through, it seems like kind of a rave witch village. I don't know how to explain it. You just got to go check out Eureka Springs.
And what state is that again?
Arkansas.
Arkansas.
It's like the most northwestern point of Arkansas.
Okay.
Pittsburgh was a big surprise to me. I didn't think, most big cities I go to are terrible to drive through with the trailer and
Yes.
it's like
Parking can't be easy.
parking's terrible. The people are rude. The roads are torn up, and you get to Pittsburgh, and like everybody's super nice and courteous. You drive like through the mountains, through a tunnel through the mountains, and you come out, and then you're crossing a bridge over the river. Like it's all like that. It's like a bunch of tunnels through the mountains and a bunch of bridges everywhere, and it's just a super unique city. I didn't expect to like so much. That's a really good one, and then a lot of like the suburbs around the main cities, like Germantown outside of Memphis, is super nice, like which you wouldn't expect because Memphis has a pretty high crime rate.
Yes, it does.
Like the shop I was doing the event at was closing at 6 p.m. The sun didn't set till 8 p.m. And they're like, yeah, we don't hang around to see what happens at night. So Germantown's like 15 minutes away, and I stayed there, and that was one of the most beautiful cities I've seen in the whole country. It seems like everybody there is a professional lawn manicure. Like,
well, yeah, lawns are too expensive to have out here in Colorado.
Yeah.
Water's too. We either do rocks, mountain grass, or turf.
Yeah.
and we
Yeah,
don't
you got a
water
lot of
mountain grass.
beautiful green golf courses out there.
We do. That's who gets all the water.
Yeah.
So, well, did you have an opportunity, or were you quick in, quick out here to do anything? I know you
I
were
was,
at dojo.
I was planning on. I got to go to the dojo party. The night before, we had the Camacho Brewery tour,
Mhm.
and then a party at the hotel. And then I did Rocky Mountain, and I had Sunday off pretty much. And I had plans to go around, but then my hotel was sold out, so I couldn't stay one more night. They're like, "No, you gotta get out of here." So I was just like, I guess I'll just jump on the road, which is really unfortunate because I just saw pictures from Jamil from Cigar Snob, and she went around and enjoyed and went on train rides and all kinds of stuff, and it looked so good.
Yeah, yeah, you're definitely gonna have to. Now, have you been like? Is that primarily where you, when you come to Colorado, you come primarily to the Front Range, or do you go up into the shops in like Grand Junction and stuff like that?
I haven't been to the shops yet. I came both times I've been there. I came in directly for Rocky Mountain and left directly.
Okay, okay, so there was nothing else planned or scheduled for you in the area.
Well, that's what. No, not in the area. Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
like I have an event tomorrow here in Illinois, and then I have one Saturday in Wisconsin. So I had to book it because that's a pretty long drive.
Yeah, that's a 15-hour drive
Yep.
to Illinois.
Once you throw on a trailer, it becomes like a 20-hour drive.
That's true. That's true. And Nebraska, at least you can kind of just prop your knee up and just wait until the end because you're not really doing much. There's no real
Nope.
steering.
Just corn and soy fields. That's all it is.
So, Law, tell us a little bit about who you are when you're not Zino Nicaragua Law Ream, when you're just Law and you just do your own thing. What are some of your hobbies outside of cigars? I feel like you're a guy with a lot of outdoor bike riding, running, swimming, triathlete. If you meet him in person, you understand what I'm saying.
You would think so, but I mean, this job it's so involved. I've been home a total of 15 days in the last 3 months. So when I'm home, I just sleep. I'm so tired.
15 days?
Oh yeah.
Whew, that's barely time to do laundry.
Yeah, that's essentially what I do. I do laundry, I sleep 2 days, and I fly back out.
So how do you keep yourself, you're a guy that's in good shape. How do you keep yourself mentally when because it almost seems like by your statement of I've been home for 15 days, reminds me a little bit of like Del Griffith of Planes, Trades. I haven't been home in like 8 years, you know. But like, how do you keep yourself mentally fit, mentally focused, and how is it hard to turn off Zeno from your mind?
No, not really. Like, well, as soon as I finish an event, I wrap up and I go right into drive mode, which is like zombie mode. Like there's not enough podcasts in the world to make those drives interesting. But no, I have 2 things that I really try and do, which is I try to find really good, unique restaurants, and I've been pretty lucky so far.
Okay.
And I've eaten at some amazing places. So and the other thing is I have a Planet Fitness membership, so I hit the gym, but they also have the Black Card Spa, which is full of like massage machines and hydro massage jet beds, and so I hang out in there for like an hour and relax, and then get back on the road.
And at least they're everywhere. So you do keep yourself, and obviously keeping yourself physically fit helps keeping you mentally fit, helps keeping you from being drained because
Yes.
you do have that release.
Yes.
Are you a reader? Are you a movie guy? Do you do shows?
All 3, a little bit of all 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you read, are you like fiction, nonfiction? What do you like?
I love like sci-fi,
Okay.
like fantasy.
Mhm.
You're and then I also read a lot of nonfiction, like autobiographies and like war books, like nonfiction war books only, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then when you're listening, when you're going for like podcasts, what are you into? Like murder mystery stuff? Do you do like news style podcasts?
I listen to mainly cigar podcasts because you
Okay.
guys are you're always like last week you had Lee Marsh on. I'm like I've only hung out with him for like a few hours, and I was like, oh, I get to dive deeper into him. That sounds pretty gay, but
I totally understood. I totally
yeah.
understood what you meant.
Um, I'm listening to what's the one I'm listening to now? The Herf something Herf. Uh, the Herf guys or something like that.
Okay.
They're hanging out with like Pete Johnson, and he's giving up some pretty good stuff. So I love this industry so much. I want to know what everyone's doing.
So you're not
Uh,
just a fan, you're a fanboy of the industry as
oh
well
yeah,
as you work in it. So it's literally you eat, breathe, sleep, drive this industry all day.
yes, yeah. Like at PCA this year, we had Anthony Mackie came into our booth. The new Captain
Mhm.
America. And I was like, "Oh, that's cool and all." And then Hanky Kellner came into our booth. I was like, "It's Hanky Kellner! Like he did all the Davidoff blends." Really, this is,
Priorities, right? Priorities,
yeah.
right? You know?
Like, I was like, I never fanboy over celebrities. It's stupid. They're just normal people. And then I see a cigar blender or a manufacturer. I'm like,
Well, they were. See, the problem with fanboying over actors and stuff is all they do is repeat other people's work.
yeah,
That's literally their entire job. Unless they wrote the movie, you're talking like Rocky, written, acted, directed. Then you're talking something different. But for the most part, actors are just famous for saying other people's words.
yeah,
And so doing something with like a blender or a distiller, these are people that are actually making this product. These are setting the history of making this. So where do you are like you're a young guy, you like they said you've got 20, 30, 40 years left in this industry before you're done. Are you Do you
I
see
hope
your do you well you keep going the way you're going and boosting the brand, eventually you're going to be running the brand.
well,
um
if I keep going the way I'm going, I think every year of doing the Zeno tour cuts 5 years off your life.
hey, you seem to have a good place in my a good system in place though to keep yourself grounded, and to keep yourself in good health, and I mean that much travel for normal people, you'd look like me.
Yeah, right.
So, whoa, you didn't have to agree with that law, all
I
right? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just
like to agree, no?
kidding. So, where do you want, like, where do you? Because this was kind of like you didn't need to go into Zeno. You had your own thing, working with multiple manufacturers, making a really big name, making a really big good name for yourself, setting a good pathway for doing marketing with a bunch of companies.
Yeah.
Why jump in? And was it I wanted to see if I could do it? Like, why take this on when you had something going that was working really well?
I think it was to learn more about the industry.
Okay.
So it's actually worse than you think because I had a business partner, and he's a very accomplished attorney, and we had just launched an online cigar pack site, right? Like curated cigar packs, and so he dropped like $20,000 on inventory. We went to PCA, we filmed it, but we also bought cigars last year. And so we dropped like $20,000 on cigars, and then I was like, I get the call from Davidoff, like, you got the job, and I was like, hey, that company we just launched last week and went live with? I was like, it's all yours now. I'm going to Davidoff. See you later. Like, it's totally, we're just sitting on all those cigars for no reason.
Oof.
Um, but he's very patient and understanding, and he's like, look, it's a really good opportunity. You get to learn from the best company in the industry. Like, why wouldn't you do it? At least do 2 or 3 years, make some connections, learn some more stuff, and then we could probably grow this even faster when you get back. Maybe if I come back. I don't know. I'm having a good time.
Well, you are having a good time, and there's a genuine smile on this man's face when you do see him. I mean, he's genuinely loving life right now. Um, so what what
I said thank you.
Oh yes, of course, of course. Um, where do you want where do you want this industry what do you want this industry to give you long term, or is a play here to maybe slide into like a blending role, or slide into like a taking over Zeno style role, like where do you see this playing out long term in your head?
I mean, Davidoff's pretty good about promoting from within. You know,
Mhm.
they have longevity with their employees. We just had a secretary retire after like 17 years. We just had a sales rep retire after 20 years. So they're pretty good with that. So I don't know. You never know. In 10 years, I could be one of the executives. You know, marketing director, something like that. In 2 or 3 years, I might be a product manager. You never know.
So
I don't think blending will be an option though. That's all Switzerland. They have their people in the DR and Honduras, and they're very control. They control most of that stuff.
well, with a company like Davidoff, do they offer people, somebody like you, you would need more extensive knowledge than your average hardcore cigar guy into cigars to be in your role?
Yeah,
Understanding
not
blending.
necessarily.
Well, I would think so, because you need to understand the tobacco. If people ask you geeky questions, you got to be able to answer them, or to a certain extent,
In
right?
this in this role, yes, but we just got our new president for the Davidoff U.S. operations, and he came from Lavazza. Like he's not a big cigar smoker. Our previous president wasn't a big cigar smoker either, but they know how to run a corporation.
Correct, and that's their strong suit. But somebody like does Davidoff give would let me back up. Would there ever be an opportunity for you to go to Davidoff and say, "Hey, I'd like to go to Nick. I'd like to the Dominican. I'd like to go to this place, see how they're rolling cigars, learn more about that process, not for development to be that, but just for an understanding." Like, would they let you have that time to do that?
Yeah, actually, this year I went down to Honduras for a week, got the tour of the factory and see everything that we do, and it was a really good thing because I've been to other factories and I noticed that we do something completely different when fermenting tobacco that others don't. So I was like, "Hey, do you know that other companies don't do this?" And they were like, "No, we just thought this was normal." So, and that's when you ferment the tobacco. You've been to factory tours, right?
I have never been to a factory tour yet.
Okay. So when you walk into the fermenting room with all the pilones, the huge
Hmm.
piles of tobacco, it's releasing a ton of ammonia,
Hmm.
right? And a lot of cigar companies, they use these misters to keep them wet because it keeps the piles heavier, which allows the weight to make the tobacco hotter, which makes it ferment faster. But we extract all that ammonia out of the air using fans, and then we mist it a little bit, and then we just let it sit so that we're not getting that ammonia all over the tobacco all the time. And I was like, wow, I'm really glad I got to come down and see. And that's Davidoff's whole thing is we have the luxury of time. We have everything we need. We have the resources, so we can take our time and make everything the right way.
So, how much control over Zeno Nicaragua branding, the look, the packaging as it sits now? Like, how much of that are they giving you control over, or taking your input in?
So I get a lot of control and say over the tour of the experience. Um, as far as the branding, most of that is handled in Switzerland. Um, like especially Zeno, like Camacho and Avo, those are U.S. born brands, so we have a little bit more control over those. But Zeno is like the baby of the Davidoff headquarters. Like this is their new favorite cigar that they like working on the most. They want to push it the most. They're really excited about it, which is crazy to think that a company that has a $750 cigar is excited for a $7.50 cigar.
Yeah, and but see, I like that though. I it's easy to make an expensive cigar.
Yeah,
You just make a cigar and put whatever price tag you want on it and hope people pay for it. It's
yeah,
hard to make a good sub $10 cigar that people are wanting to buy all the time, but not just wanting to buy, but even smoke over a $15 stick.
yeah,
Because of the perceived value, I get to smoke twice as much or twice as long. And Zino Nicaragua's definitely hit that stride with the sub 10 market. I don't know if you're sub 10 in Colorado, but I don't think there's very many cigars that are sub 10 in Colorado to begin with. So, but for a
Yeah.
normal state like Florida or Texas, you are sub 10. You said you're actually around $8, right?
Yeah, the MSRP is about averages around $7.70 when you spread it out through the sizes.
Now,
Yeah.
no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, but yeah, you're right. Like in New York, it's like a $16 cigar. You know, wherever the tobacco tax is. Like, I always forget to factor that in because I'll be out in the trailer. I'm like, yeah, it's a $7.50 cigar, and they go in the shop and they're like, it's $12. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but but at the same time you go, it's sub 20. How many cigars are there in New York that are sub 20? You just change,
Yeah,
you
right.
just add, just double it. Um, so what are we looking at
Pretty
next
well.
from what are we looking at next from Zeno Nicaragua? Where are we going from here?
It's been very successful, so they want to grow the brand. So there's a new blend in the works. I've smoked 3 different test blends, and it's a really good cigar. Um, that's all I could say about it right now. Davidoff likes to keep these
Oh,
things close to the chest.
I have a
Uh,
breaking news button I've been hovering over.
yeah.
Can
Breaking news: it's darker than a Connecticut.
but are you able to at least tell us an ETA?
um, no,
Okay. Can you say if it'll be? It probably won't be this year if you've only
no.
had three yet. It'll be
It'll
next
be
year sometime.
sometime in 2026.
Okay. Okay. Will we be seeing this at PCA potentially?
I don't know,
Okay.
honestly.
Okay. All right.
Like
That's all.
it's one
That's
of
all I'll ask. But I was just
yeah.
curious.
Davidoff is a perfectionist company, so they
Hmm.
would rather hold it for another couple of months if it's not ready in time for PCA. They would rather hold it for another couple months and release it outside of that really easy to play release show, but they would rather just get it right instead of making a cash grab.
See, I respect that. I like the fact that they're willing to be so secretive about a sub $10 stick because the reality is their portfolio, most of them are over $20-$30 for a Robusto
Yeah.
inside the Davidoff line. So I like the fact that they're treating the Zeno Nicaragua line to that same caliber of respect that they do with the Davidoff. That they're not treating it as a bundle, as a discount or anything else. They're putting all their time and effort behind it, and it shows. The brand has grown leaps and bounds. You're up. You said over 30% in the
Yep.
last year. So I mean, it shows that. How does that make you? Did you have any concerns that you were like, oh, this is going to be the lowest one on their books. I might not get the love I need. And then were you
Yeah.
shocked by that when they gave it to you?
Yeah, I was. I knew the cigar would be easy to sell. So I was gonna turn down the job if the cigar wasn't good. So I booked my first interview with the HR guy, and 30 minutes before, I was like, I need to smoke this, make sure it's a good cigar, or else I can't tell people it's a good cigar. I don't like lying to people. So I was like 3 puffs in. I was like, oh yeah, this thing's gonna sell itself. Like this job's gonna be so easy. But you're right. I was shocked at how much zest that the Switzerland headquarters had for this brand. I was like, this is obviously going to be like their cheap cigar that they just throw out there when they can't make money on something else. And no, they're putting the full backing of Davidoff behind it because they're really proud of this brand.
Well,
And
it
that did
doesn't taste like a cheap cigar.
it doesn't. It really doesn't. It's like I said, it's not ultra complex. You don't have like 5 or 6 evolutions in a cigar. You don't
But you
have
don't
like
need that every
ever
time.
evolving. Yeah, it's very straightforward but delicious.
Yeah, and it's consistent. And
Yes.
that's what everybody that's really what makes a sub 10 cigar great is the consistency that's kept within. Sometimes the sub 10s can get overlooked. Oh, whatever, we'll just push it through. But the consistency in the cigar, I've smoked a lot of them. I've never
Yeah.
had a bad burn. I've never had a bad burn line. The draw has always been really good. It's a creamy stick. I would say it's a mild cigar with a medium flavor profile. I would agree with you on that. Goes
Yeah.
great with a cup of coffee, and it goes really good with a nitro from Starbucks. I just said that. But no, like it. But I guess that's kind of the beauty of being completely vertically integrated is maybe they're using tobacco that if it was me making that cigar would cost me $15. But
Yeah.
because they're able to use their own tobacco sourced in house, it's they're able to do it at a lower rate, but bring the quality way up. Would that be a fair assessment?
Yeah. No, and that would be a fair assessment. It's not, this cigar is not completely vertically integrated because we don't have any farms in Nicaragua that I know of, so we purchased that tobacco.
Yeah, but
And the
it's
wrap,
Davidoff. You're getting ridiculously good deals on tobacco too.
yeah, no, I'm sure. I mean, they have the parent company, Ottinger, the Ottinger and Ottinger Davidoff. They've been around they just celebrated their 150th anniversary. It's 150, yeah, 150th anniversary from when they opened up their first store. So they have a lot of long-standing relationships, as well as Henri Davidoff did too. So I'm sure the company gets some pretty decent deals with that longevity in the business.
Sure.
But I don't know. I don't know that side. That's all taken care of somewhere else.
Plus the rollers too. I mean, Davidoff's been known for its high class rollers, and I'm sure the same high class roller. And again, my experience with Zino Nicaragua as a cigar is it's always been rolled great. The burn line's great, draws great, it lights great. It doesn't pop. I haven't pulled a tree trunk out of it.
Yeah.
And it's been really good quality. It is a long filler cigar. So want to make sure that we stress that for anybody that hasn't tried one yet. Sub 10 long filler cigar, not a mix filler or a Cuban sandwich, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, so are we gonna see the next one be kind of in the same pricing profile? Is that kind of where the Zino Nicaragua brand wants to live at?
I'm not. I would assume so. I'm
Okay.
not privy to that. I'm not privy to that information until it's released. Like we usually get the PR release the day before it goes out
Oh,
with a
so they
big,
keep you guys in the know-how.
yeah, yeah. Davidoff is very much I don't know. They like to keep everything close to their chest until it's time to like they just did the PR release where the chef's edition came out today. We got that last night in the top of the message, big red letters. Do not release this until we do.
8 a.m. tomorrow morning. It's going out, guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what do you, what is your vision for this brand? And does it align with Davidoff's vision, or is there, if heads butt, do they give you Tygo to the runner? Do you get the ability to play how you want to?
Um, I don't. In most decisions, no, but they seem extremely happy with me and what I've been doing, so I might be able to, possibly. But no, most of those decisions are made, at the factory and with the Swiss headquarters in Basel. So I have actually sent some emails in though and be like, I don't I don't agree with this color choice and here's my reasoning, and maybe we can go with something like this and here's my reasoning. And they're like, hey, we appreciate the thoughts, we'll take them into consideration.
That's a big company though. That's how it works. But hey,
Yeah.
at least you feel comfortable enough to write it.
Yeah.
At least they don't make you feel like, why the heck are you even offering your input? That's what you hired me for.
Yeah. No, they're pretty good about that. There's been a few initiatives that I've started and they're like, hey, this is a good idea, let's run with this.
So for somebody that travels literally coast to coast, do you set your own schedule around these events? Is that part of your job too? Is you're setting these events at the different shops, or do you have event the shops call in and request you? How do they get you there?
It's a mix. So we book all the big cigar festivals, which I think this weekend's is the last big cigar festival, which is Brew City Cigar Fest in Wisconsin. So outside of that, we just pepper in events between shops as we're crisscrossing across country going to from festival to festival. And most of them, I'm like, I hit up the sales rep. I'm gonna be in your territory for this many days. Let me know, who wants to do an event and if they can handle the trailer. And then they'll submit it, and I'll approve or deny. And then the other, like, sometimes I'll look at the data. I'm like, hey, this guy's are like, one of our top 10 retailers for Zino. We should do an event with them. And so then we'll book it that way. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward, but I do have full control over yes or no for an event. If I'm like, hey, I can't make that drive in the time that I have allotted, or hey, I need to go home and see my wife for a week, so I don't want to book an event that week.
Or I'm moving.
Yeah.
You're moving here in a couple weeks.
Next week. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you're doing an event at a shop, obviously an event like something like Cigar Fest, you were giving away cigars. What does a shop event look like different wise than a cigar event at like a festival or something like that?
So it's pretty similar. People come up to the trailer, I give them a free cigar, I tell them about the brand and the cigar and why they would like it. And I try to, if you like it, you can go buy it now. That's weird. You don't see a lot of companies doing that, like, hey, try the cigar, and if you like it, buy it. They're like, hey, buy it and get a cool hat, but this cigar we just believe in so much. We're like, yeah, if we give it out for free, they're gonna go buy a box, and that helps out the retailer because they bought these cigars off of us, so we sell them for them. And it's great. And then you build goodwill with the consumers. So this is a very unique industry where you have a very strong relationship with the retailer, but you also have a relationship with their customer, the direct consumer, and not a lot of businesses work that way.
Mm-hmm.
So we're trying to give a lot of value to the consumer through a great event, which builds goodwill for the whole company, but also builds goodwill for the cigar shop who's putting on this event for their customers. So it's just all around.
So have you run into somebody that was, I don't smoke sub 10. I don't smoke sub 20. I only smoke Cubans. Like, what's your approach as a brand ambassador to the I only smoke Cubans or $20 or $30 cigar, pinky up smoker? What's your approach to getting them to try a Zino Nicaragua?
I just give them the cigar. I'm like, hey, look, give it a try. It might surprise you. Maybe you'll hate it. Just throw it out if you hate it. And I do get some people. It's never somebody that's like, I don't smoke sub $20 cigars. It's always somebody like, this isn't for me. And then I watch them go light up an acid or something. I was like, oh, that makes sense.
No sweet tip here.
Yeah, it's like the number one. Whenever the very few people that don't like this cigar, they're usually like an acid smoker or deadwood smoker, or they just like extremely in your face cigars because they smoke 10 cigars a day.
Yeah. So that's good though. I like hearing that because I personally live in a very high tax state. So for me, if I could find a cigar close to 10 or around 10, that means that's good. I like that. It takes a lot for me to spend $20 in a cigar law. Like it takes a ton. So I'm curious about your past, your cigar smoking history. All right. So let's kind of, now how old of a guy are you?
I just turned 40 a couple months ago.
That's what I thought. So you're my age. We're both 40. I turned 40 in April. Am I older than you?
I don't know. Yeah, you're older than me.
Fuck.
I'm May.
Oh, I hate being the oldest one in the room. So tell us a bit about your cigar smoking background. When did you start smoking cigars, and if you still remember your very first one?
Oh, absolutely. I remember my first one. So I was there's this place that used to be super cool in Fort Lauderdale called Beach Place. It used to be where the party was. And they had a cigar shop there. And me and my buddies I was 17. They were like 18, 19. And we went into the cigar shop and we're like, can we get some Cubans, bro? And the guy's like, of course you can get Cubans, and if anybody asked that today, you would just laugh them out of the room. But the guy was like, yeah. And then we walked into this humidor. And then he pulls out a false wall and moves it to the side, and he had a second window behind it. And he had legit Cubans.
Speakeasy style.
Yeah. So we each paid, I think it was like $30 for a Cohiba.
Oh,
And
discount. That nowadays, that's discounts.
oh yeah, this was like 2002, I believe. So I think that was going price for a Cohiba back then, which was very expensive.
Yes, with the cigar world, that's very expensive in
Yeah,
2002.
yeah. So we went down to the beach, tried our asses off to light it with matches. We had no idea what we were doing, and then we got into them, and I remember just like falling in love instantly. I was like, "This is amazing! I love doing this." And all my friends were like, "This is disgusting! I don't like doing this at all." And I've been trying to get them back into smoking for the last 22 years, and they're just like, no, it's not for me. So
So,
they like deadwoods. I give them deadwoods.
oh, that type of smoker. Okay.
Yeah.
No, nothing against the flavored cigars. They bring in a lot of first time cigar smokers. They just are not personally for me. The only flavored tobacco I smoke is out of tobacco pipe. I do
Yeah.
like aromatic pipe tobacco, but when it comes to cigars, not so much. So okay, so you're 22 or you're 18.
Yep.
And how quickly after that was your second cigar? Were you like sold on it right away?
It was a while because I thought all cigars were that price.
Okay.
Uh, so then I was like, I don't have that much money. I'm still in high school. And then I graduate, I go in the military, and while I'm overseas, like I just see a lot of people smoking cigars. I'm like, what's going on? And they're like, yeah, these guys just like send us cigars all the time. So I started smoking, and they were like all Gurkhas, pretty much. That's all that was donated at the time. So we thought it was really cool because we're like in Iraq and we're smoking all these cigars that look like they have a terrorist on the band, and so that. And we had long watches. I had like 12-hour overnight watches, so we would smoke 2-3 cigars a night, and it was great.
Oh, geez, that I've never heard an explanation of that logo like that. So you were in the military. What branch again?
Navy.
Navy. Okay.
Yeah.
So were you stationed on a boat most of the time?
No, well, I was on a boat, not a ship. So I was in a special operations program called SWIC, which is like,
Oh, you guys are the gunships. You
yeah,
guys fuck shit up, man. Let me tell you.
it was
Woo.
it was not the worst job ever, that's for sure.
No, one of the anybody who's not seen Active Valor, the opening scene involves a swick boat at the very end of the opening, the very first scene. You will get chills when that thing comes around the corner. Just, I mean, my gosh. So what? So okay. So I've never met somebody that's actually been on a swick team before.
Not a lot of
Um,
us. There's
so
like half as many of us as there are SEALs.
that is an elite team. That is a
Yeah.
special forces team. But does it carry the same training as a special forces unit would per se?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's
It's
what I figured.
I wouldn't I wouldn't say it's as hard as SEAL training. But our attrition rate was like my class started with 113 very physically fit people, and we graduated with 17.
Okay, did you guys go to like SEER school and stuff like that? Like, was it that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, okay.
That
So
shit's insane.
so you guys, so they did perceive that potentially you guys would be maybe captured. Okay, I wouldn't have perceived that. I mean, I see a swick boat like that, I'd be fucking running like hell the other direction. I mean, Jesus, you guys are barreled down. What is that? 4 guns on that thing, right? Usually.
We had 4 gun mounts, but we could put 8 guns in it. So we would have a twin 50. We'd put 250 cals on one mount with a butterfly switch, so you could shoot 1,650 cal bullets a minute.
Now, how much compensation does that boat rock? Because those aren't big boats. They're not heavy boats either.
Well, they're jet propelled, so whoever's driving the boat knows, which way they're moving, and it doesn't push it as far as you would think. So you're talking about the Riverine craft, the Cigars, Special Operation Craft Riverine. I was on a Mark V, which was an 82-foot long, 100-ton boat.
Okay, my misunderstanding.
So that was like halfway through the movie. Remember when in Act of Valor, when the sniper shoots out of the window from the boat and kills the guy on the yacht?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the boat I was on, the Mark V.
I'd rather be on that than the smaller one, though.
Yeah, we had our seats they were like the same seats they use in space shuttles because they had like they had those pistons in them for the shock. So every time we smashed down on the wave, it would absorb a lot of the shock. And we had window heaters, which was the nice thing because we were always in freezing cold waters.
Yeah.
We would turn on the window heaters and it would just warm us up. So they called us the Cadillac, the soft ones.
How
All
long?
the other guys had like icicles hanging off their boats and shit.
How long did you do that for?
Just 4 years, and then I went
Okay.
contracting. So I went over to Iraq as a diplomatic security for a few
Okay.
years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, do you ever seen the movie? I assume you've seen 13 Hours.
Yes.
Mark Geis is a good friend of ours here at the show. We did a charity event with him and everything. And I didn't know were you in around that time frame of Benghazi? No, you wouldn't have been still doing that work. 2008. Yeah, I guess you probably would have been over there.
Yeah, I was still in. Yep. 2008. I was in. So I did military 03 to 07 and contracting 09 to 2012, pretty much.
Okay. Yeah, which did you like better?
Oh, contracting by far.
Really? Because I've been told you get no time off. Well, like, that prepares you for this job.
Yeah. No, we had nothing but time off. Like it was every
really?
mission was like 2 hours long. It was big boy rules. Like in the
Okay.
military, even special operations, like check your gun out. How much ammo do you have in your gun? All right, we came back. Do you still have that much ammo? Did you have to use your gun? Over there is like, here's all your guns and ammo and your grenades and shit. Just like, don't blow anybody up. Go to bed. And then they would call you like, oh, we got a mission in an hour. Show up. Let's go. And then, you'd be taking John McCain or Lindsey Graham to go meet some shady figure in Baghdad somewhere.
Okay, so a lot of your contract work was escort.
Yeah. Yeah, it was mostly we called it high threat protection.
Okay. Did that ever get shady on you or sketchy on you?
Yeah, those companies are so shady. All those contracting, I work for Triple Canopy, and half of us are like, it's just a matter of time till one of us goes to prison for something, that the company did. So we were always like trying to like, is the pay worth it now? It's really good money, but might go to prison. You never know.
Well, what was it like as far as how you're perceived over there with a badged military uniform versus a contractor? How does the population perceive you?
They hated us because before I got out there, Blackwater gave us such a bad reputation. So they would just shoot into every car. They didn't, if you were moving towards them at a 3-4 miles per hour, they'd shoot right into your engine, try and disable it. That's fucking, that guy probably saved up his entire life for that car.
Yeah.
But a lot of them didn't listen. You would be like, hey, you can't be within 100 feet of the rear of our vehicle. And they would they would come right up on you. So you would go through the escalations and stuff. They didn't like us at all, but they definitely respected the military. They stayed away from them.
Okay. So you guys got a little bit more, they got a little bit more daring with you guys over the military.
Yeah. We were considered the asshole Americans, and the military were like the ones that would give them stuff,
See,
we got water, we got food, we got medical supplies. Let's help you out. And we're just like, get the fuck out of our way. We got guns.
See, I have buddies that did contracting work that said it was almost the opposite for them, but maybe it was just the type of work where like nobody ever screwed with the contractors because the contractors would just shoot you.
Yeah. I mean, if you're talking about that level of respect, right? Because in the military, you're trying to win hearts and minds.
True.
And then in contracting, you're just trying to get
to win.
Get to a meeting and back. Yeah.
So 2012, you get out. All right, I appreciate you going through that and talking about that. Appreciate your service very much. So 2012, you got out. So I got to ask you, do you got any sleeves? You got any anchors on you? Anything crazy tattoo wise?
I got some bullets and this like terrorist grenade guy, and then this is a Grim Reaper with a 9mm.
So you do have a military tattoo. Okay. I figure most special forces units that I've run across, those guys always usually have some sort of a military driven or special forces tattoo that my experience. I'm afraid of needles.
When I was in SWIC, like we were so new to the special operations community. Like we were the newest until the Marine Corps got theirs, which was MARSOC, or the they're called the Raiders now, the Marine Raiders. So we were like, we had no respect in the soft community. Like, the SEALs would like just treat us like shit. We get in fights with them all the time. Like, it was not like you would expect. It was just like, we're like, oh, we got to work with these assholes again. Fuck. And we would literally get in fights on mission.
Well, weren't you guys the ones that got them out of trouble? If they had to dive in some water, or they didn't see that.
They're like, hey, taxi, take us over there.
Oh, man, just that's well, you would expect that maybe Navy to Marine Corps, but you wouldn't think.
No, we got along way better with the other forces. We worked with like the British SAS, and we worked with we worked with some ODAG teams in the Army. So like guys that are just like, guys that don't get recognized by any branch of the military or government. We worked with some of those guys. And they were all pretty cool. It's just the SEALs. We were always just like, they're like, you're not as good as us. Get out of here.
They got a big head. You've got to be cocky to be a SEAL.
Yeah. Chris Kyle talked a lot of shit about us in his book. So.
Well, yeah, apparently he didn't knock out Jesse Ventura. That was a huge lawsuit thing, but that's neither here nor there. Go read the book if you guys want to figure out the story behind that one, and look up the lawsuit that Jesse Ventura put against his wife. But okay, so 2012, you're out entirely, not doing contracting work. What do you do from there?
I went to school. Got my degree in marketing, and I started a side hustle, which was doing it was kind of like an instant startup. So if you're starting a company, like I would make all the things for you. I'd do all your photography, do your logo, do your website, it was a one-stop shop for starting a business.
Okay.
And the photo and video side of that grew really quickly. So I just focused on that. And then I picked up some really big companies, like the Intercontinental Hotel Group was my biggest client. I did some small stuff for Starbucks and Amazon. And then, like I said, the pandemic came, and my only client that was still in business was Perdomo Cigars. So I was like, all right, let's go all in on this.
So you spent a year and a half, and then came inside of Zino. So you've lived a very fast moving life. Since the military.
Yeah. I've done a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you have. I didn't know that you were on a SWIC team. That's awesome. I'm still like blown away. You're the very first person I've ever met that's been on a SWIC team. So
nobody SWIC friend. Everyone's like, oh, I know a SEAL.
Well, I will say, I got a SWIC friend.
Yeah. We'll get you a lot of clout.
Well, that and a couple of dollars will get me a coffee at McDonald's. So
right.
That's what my granddad used to say. Like, can I throw your name around? Yeah, sure. That and a few dollars will get you a coffee at McDonald's. So
that's funny.
So, as you're now you're coming back through to Zino here, what is on like vision wise for you if you had the ability to do carte blanche with side of Zino? What would be something that you would love to be able to take the brand?
I love giving stuff back to the consumers. So I wanted to do like a real Camp Zino, kind of like a giveaway. So like every Zino you buy, you get entered into a raffle, and at the end of like a few months or something, you would get like whoever won the raffle would get a trip. Like we would set up a bunch of Zino tents around a lake and have floaties and barbecue and just do like a Camp Zino where everyone just hangs out, smokes cigars, barbecues, has a good time.
Okay, that sounds fun. Like a weekend long thing or like a day thing?
Yeah, like show up Friday, go home Sunday.
That'd be fun. Like camping? That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, so I've been, the brand is very like beach and camp forward, so I thought that would be a cool, unique experience to do. Because we have, a lot of people do factory tours for the retailers. I'm like,
sure.
But nobody's doing like these cool. I guess it would be similar like La Zona that Espanosa has. Mm-hmm. So
that's Zona Palooza.
Yeah, that's a reward to their like people that love them the most on social media. So they do this big event for them every year. I would kind of something like that. Just be like, hey, thank you so much for supporting the brand with your wallet. Here's the thing we can give back to you.
I like that because you don't see a lot of brands doing that at all, and I think that would go over really well.
Yeah.
Now, how is kind of the Zino brand being accepted within the hardcore Davidoff smoker side of the camp?
I mean, they do like it, but it's not for them. Davidoffs are just they're so intricate, so complex. They have such deep flavors. Like it's a whole different experience. So your Davidoff smoker, they want to get all those crazy flavors. I would say a Zino Nicaragua is very basic cigar flavors. It's just really good flavor from those basic flavors. Like
Yeah,
it's
but you
got that.
guys did basic really well. I wouldn't call it. He's being too kind, guys. It's not a. It's a very good cigar. It's. I would put this as far as the price range is what I'm taking into account for the quality is above and beyond.
Yeah,
And I can't say that highly enough because that's just being honest for that price point. And again, in Colorado, I love the fact that you are pretty close to sub 10 or right at around $10 in Colorado. We have a question here for you from Richard. You coming to Coastal Virginia Cigar Fest in September?
no, we did that last year, and I loved that event. That was a great event. But unfortunately, right after I do Brew City, so last year I went straight from Rocky Mountain over to Virginia Coastal. This year I'm heading. I'm gonna do Wisconsin Saturday, and then start heading straight out to. I have an event in Idaho, and then Nevada, and then I hit California. So it's
So you
unfortunately,
are
yeah.
like, there's map, your map quest has just got to look like a spider web.
I can show you.
Jeez,
It's
that
crazy.
tells you my freaking age. I just said MapQuest. I
Yeah,
haven't thought of
and I knew it
MapQuest in
too.
forever.
I knew exactly what you meant. Oh my
I
god.
haven't thought of that. Remember we used to have to print directions out?
Yeah, no, my first job out of high school was a process server where I'd go serve subpoenas to people,
Mhm.
and like I'm always in the car like flipping through the papers of directions, just like I almost got T-boned because I ran a red light reading directions. Let's see. I wonder if I could find. There's a thing on Google Maps that shows you every city you've been to. Cities. There we go. That's that's every
so a
city. I've been
couple.
so
So a
far. Yeah,
couple.
you.
Jesus. That's really Midwest concentrated.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't really gone west of
Okay.
Colorado yet.
Okay. Now is that just because you're bigger in those areas and you're trying to build those up, or like
That that and logistics. Like I feel like the West Coast gets snubbed because like, we can sales reps do events out there, but as far as like a traveling experience, going from Colorado over to California, it's just all dead zone out there. There's really not a lot going on.
no, you're right. And you're not wrong.
So it I mean, just in fuel alone, we're gonna spend probably like $1,500 getting from Colorado-ish to California.
Arizona would be worthwhile. That's a huge cigar state.
We're hitting Arizona. So we have 3 events booked in Arizona for November. I think it's the first week of November, and then I'm doing like a mad dash back across the country to get home in time for Thanksgiving. So it's like Arkansas, Louisiana, somewhere in Georgia, and then back down to Florida.
Okay. So what has been your favorite festival you've been to so far?
That's a tough one because we added 2 new great festivals this year, right? You got the Smoke-O-No's just started.
Mhm.
I think it was their second year. Then the Great Lakes Cigar Fest is that's a brand new one. This was their first year, and they just knocked it out of the park. We were all expecting it to be a shit show because it's their first year doing a major event, and it ended up being incredible. I think that one's really cool because it's on a race car track. So like you can pay, I think it was like $75 for someone to drive you around a race car track in like a McLaren or a Corvette or something.
Ooh, and they go balls out with you in the car?
I don't know. I was working the whole time, so I didn't get to try.
Oh man, I would.
But and
Yeah,
they,
that
they
would have been fun.
sim racers in the lobby, so
Okay,
you could do
okay.
sim racers. It was pretty cool. And then they had Drew Estate had their whole thing going on. They had a rolling room. They had a whiskey tasting room. Then they had a section of just food trucks and a section of just liquor tastings. And then they had the cigar section where you go, you know, buy all the cool cigars at discounted prices with the gifts and stuff.
Okay, that sounds fun. I would totally pay $75 for a guy to scare the shit out of me around a race car track.
Yeah, right.
I always thought the Pepsi challenge with Jeff Gordon was the great. Did you ever see that?
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was the greatest video in the world where the guy didn't recognize him. He just took him through his. Oh, that would have just been just so much fun to do something like that. We do have a question here from Matt Michaels. Where in Arizona are you going to be at?
So if you go to my Instagram account, which is at Tobacco Cupcake, there's a link. There's a link in my profile that'll take you to the Zino info page, and at the bottom is all the events we've booked already.
Okay, go to his Facebook page, click on his link for the Zino profile, and then at the bottom you'll see all the events that they've booked.
Yep, I think I'm getting yellower by the second. See this, like how tungsten my camera's getting.
Well, I think your camera's compensating for the hue of your shirt, and it's trying to balance itself out automatically, and it's maybe a little overcompensating. It's okay. It's all right.
Or maybe we're so good at branding, we're just slowly like it's a psychological operation. Just like by the end of this interview, it's the whole screen's just gonna be Zino yellow.
What you don't see is the filter over his camera right now, turning everything yellow. So let's see. Hopefully, you got anything back in Florida at all this year?
We do. We have one of the more interesting events. It's at a cigar wine shop in the Villages. So if you don't know what the Villages is, it's probably one of the most. It's the largest retirement community in the country, as maybe in the world, and it is also one of the most sexually active places in America.
Yes, it is. Yes, yes, it is. Yep. The older probably they go for it, man. What else you got to do? I mean, you just go for it. The retirement communities.
Went for it. I got hit on by an 80-year-old lady.
Bet that was a hard one to say no to.
Yeah. She made it. I said no like 30 times. She was not taking no for an answer.
What was it? Mr. Robinson? What was the Dustin Hoffman movie? Was it where Mrs. Robinson was the older lady that he's after? Oh shoot! Anybody knows the movie I'm talking about? Throw it in the chat. But let's see. Us old people know where it is. Yes, you do. I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do, Bruce. No, the Villages, people, if you've never been there, it's massive. It's like 15,000 people that live there. It's like 4 massive communities. It's got its own police station. It's got its own post office. Like it is, and it's all on the north end of Ocala, if I'm correct, right? Or right outside Ocala.
Right around there,
yeah. The Graduate. Yes, she wanted you to be part of The Graduate. You ever seen that one?
Oh, Jared, that's our rep in this area. He's waiting to finish this interview so I can go get hammered with him.
Yeah, he said that he said that he was your favorite rep. Earlier. Let's see, right here. That's where your favorite sales rep is.
That got me in some hot water with some of the other reps.
So
we're both degenerates that just really we agree on so many things.
Well, hey, you gotta find the ties with those that are similar to you. So tell us what a normal night is for you then on the road. Are you just like a crasher? Do you like to kind of go out and unwind? You hit the clubs. I doubt you hit the clubs, but do you like to kind of go unwind and smoke a cigar at the end of the night, or are you just kind of like, I'm done?
It depends on the drive. Like when I was in the Northeast, it's so concentrated, all the states up there. So it was like, going from one state to the next was like a 2-hour drive. So then I could go out, check out some local spots. I'm actually a big like tiki guy, so I like to go to underground tiki bars.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, not like a grass hut serving like some fruity cocktails. I'm like the tiki culture is pretty deep. So
Real
like
tiki culture.
real tiki culture, like most of them are speakeasies. Like they're very hard to find. The cocktails are
Very
very
expensive.
complex, very expensive, very strong.
Mhm.
They have one. Every shop has one where you're only allowed to buy one per visit. Like that's how strong they can get.
Yeah, no, I can attest to that. I
Yeah,
can
and then
attest.
they typically have like tiki mugs that are made by all these artists that
Mhm.
just make tiki mugs that are you can only get them at that shop. So I collect those as I travel around the country.
Oh yeah, let me show you this. That you'll appreciate this. One of my close buddies, known for 20 years at this point. I haven't seen him in a long time, and I went down to his place, and he is massive in tiki culture. So let's see if I can make this work and pan out. So, so
Oh
you can
wow!
see. So this is his bar,
Yep.
but if I zoom in, that's all of his rum. There's
Yep.
all of his glasses,
And
and
all this mugs.
then he's got more down over here.
Oh yeah, look at that. That's a
Yeah,
huge.
yeah. No, he's got a. He's. I don't like mixed drinks. All right, I'm neat. I'm on the rocks. I'm simple, right? Like
Yeah.
I don't. I always consider tiki as like fruity sugar. All I'm gonna do is get a headache the next morning. Well, I went to visit him, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, I'm making all these sauces or these sugar sauces. He makes his own simple syrup. He makes his own cinnamon simple syrup. He makes his all of his own everything. It's all he
Yeah.
makes his own grenadine. Like it is insane to the level he's in." And then he's sitting there with like a 1950s tiki book, and there's like 10 bottles on the counter. And I look at him
Mhm.
like, "Cool. What is this? Like 3 drinks worth?" He goes, "No, this is a drink called jet fuel."
Yeah.
I'm
That's
like,
a strong.
I'm like, what? He goes, "Just wait. Everything on the table is in the drink in some fashion." He goes, "It's like
Yep.
5, 6 ounces." I'm like, what? And my God, dude, you wouldn't have known that it was all alcohol.
Yeah. No,
Like
they're extremely well
deceiving,
balanced.
deceiving.
Yeah. There was so we almost like didn't have that culture at all, right? Because every back in the day, like all the tiki bars, they would have their own recipes and they kept them hidden even from the bartenders. So from the bartenders, it would be like 2 parts of 13, 1 dash of B. Nice. So they like all the mixes were hidden, and then
Mm-hmm.
like all the tiki bars, it kind of like blending. If you go to cigar factory, they the blenders don't know. They just know they're using tobacco 1-C and tobacco 3-X, and they don't know what actually blend is going into it completely.
They know the
So
serial number.
yeah, so it's the same thing as that. But then all the tiki bars went out of business, and so this guy Beach Bum Berry went around the whole country finding all the bartenders, and he was like, "Hey, what was in this?" And he figured out all the recipes, and we wouldn't even have mai tais if it wasn't for that guy.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, mai tai was like the OG tiki drink, but now they're way more complex and balanced.
Well, you know what tiki drink actually surprised me? I didn't realize it was one, but the daiquiri.
Yeah,
My buddy's like, "Dude, do you want a daiquiri?" And I looked at him like, I don't want an alcoholic slushy." He goes, "Cool. I don't want one either because that's not a daiquiri." And I'm like, "Well, wait a second. My whole life, a daiquiri is a Slurpee with alcohol." And he
yeah,
goes, "No, no, no. That's a cheap way or lazy way of doing it." He made me this daiquiri. I took a picture of it. Now you can't taste anything through the picture, of course, but I just had to take a picture to remind myself that I actually liked a daiquiri at one time. Like it was really good. Okay, so do you get into the tiki culture at your own house, and when you finally do get to stay at home, do you mix drinks like that and get into it there too?
no, no. I typically drink Scotch neat when I'm at home.
I knew I liked you for a reason.
But I like the environment, right? I like this, like the speakeasy element. Like as I'm going around the country, like some of them, I'm like, it's here on Google Maps, it's right here, but I can't find it, and it's like in the basement. Like you have to walk in through the walk-in cooler to get to it. Like they're crazy hidden.
Knock 3 times with a
Yep.
pound.
Yeah, no, there's a reason a lot of them go out of business. They're not making a lot of money because they stick to the culture.
Well, I also think too, like my buddy when he was making that jet fuel, like I know his rums are not Admiral Nelson. Like they're like $80 a bottle, $100 a bottle rums.
Yeah.
He's like a thing like that because it came in a tall glass. He put it in a tall glass. He's like that would be $50 or $60 at a tiki bar.
Yeah.
So like they're not cheap either to go to.
No, I've never had them that expensive, but they usually hang out around like $15 to $25 a cocktail.
Well, we were in California, baby. He was giving me California.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Yeah, there's a really cool one in New York. It's called Paradise Lost. It's all hell themed. And it was very cool, but I think I walked out with a bill of $350 with just me and my wife drinking.
Oh, geez, those were
Yeah.
pricey drinks then, or you
Those
just
are
had a lot.
Yeah. I think we had like between four each, maybe. But they're
Okay.
just, yeah.
Well, they're good, and you don't wake up with a hangover. Like you don't feel like you just drank all night for 4
Yeah.
drinks either.
No.
Question here: is the rumor of the Camacho trailer for next year true? Are you able to share that?
I want to kill that right now. Definitely not. No. That is a good thing. Camacho's a
Jared
good
says you're the
okay.
leader for it next year.
That is classified. I can neither confirm nor deny.
I think Jared's falling on the favorites list after he's given you another trailer. Just attach
Yeah.
it to the back of the banana. Make it 50 feet.
I would just. Oh man. No, there used to be a Camacho trailer tour, and it was way more involved than the Zino one. It was we had the Camacho ambassador at the time was George Rami. We called him Latin Thunder. He's this like really in shape guy from Honduras, had a ponytail, like looked like a business back in the day. And he had 2 Harleys. He had a high striker, like, a strength machine. He had a full bar, an arm wrestling set, and he had a dyno machine where he just like run the Harley on a dyno machine at the end of the night. And his trailer was 3 times the weight of mine. It was 15 feet longer. It was just insane. And he had like I have a fucking Ford Transit van that I travel around in, real cool. He had a F350 dually that he took everywhere. Like it was all customized.
Was the transit van even around back then?
No, I don't think so.
Wow. Okay. So how long ago was this?
Oh, Jared, you're in the comments. What year was that? You've been with the company long enough. It might take a while.
I don't know if that's an attack on your age or not, Jared, but let's get the answer. Come on, brother.
Jared's younger than me. He looks like he's 20 years older than me.
Oh man. So let's get back because we kind of got sidetracked for a little bit of fun. But as we're kind of going through, you're a lot in the Midwest, not so concentrated out on the West Coast. Is that going to be? I know they're few and far between, but can you even give away cigars in California? Are you allowed to?
That's a good question.
If not, there's really no point because I know they have a lot of cigar shops, but I don't even know if you're allowed to give them away in California.
I should probably look into that because we're the whole month of October. We're starting at like Northern California and working our way all the way down to San Diego. So should probably know that going in. Yeah,
last thing we need is law in the front of cops getting arrested.
I'm mostly looking at driving laws in each state because there's apparently in California, like if you have a trailer, you have to stay in the far right lane the whole way. Like that's going to slow my drive down by like 50%.
Okay, so they gave away a Harley on the Camacho one. So are you going to be giving away something? Is the Zino bike?
I'll give away the trailer so I never have to see it again.
Now,
Uh,
I am curious. Is this like an ending thing? Like, is this like a 2-year tour? Like you're a musician and it's going to end at some point, or is this kind of where they want you to be at for the foreseeable future? Is traveling like this?
the so far this tour is planned to go until the end of this year. And then you cannot in California. All right, that's and we'll have to find a loophole. Maybe we could sell them for $1 a piece or something.
Says with a distributor license, but Zino probably doesn't have the distributor license in California.
Oh, we'll just sell them to the cigar shop for $1 a bundle and then give them out.
Well, hey, that's a good thing to know, though. I'm glad we brought that up because again,
It is good to know.
we don't want you bailed out. I mean, could you imagine the impound fee on that thing?
Well, yeah, right. Oh,
AI
I've been
says
in.
no.
I used to live in San Diego. I've been impounded. It's not cheap out there.
Right here, JJ says you could give away joints.
That's true.
No cigars law, just joints.
It's the opposite in Tampa. It's the opposite. The only thing you can smoke on the beach in Tampa is cigars. You can't smoke anything else.
Well, see, does Florida even allow? I don't even think Florida has anything other than medical.
We have licensed marijuana, but
Yeah,
it's
so you'd have to have a medical license. Yeah,
enforced. It's not that enforced.
yeah. You go to San Francisco, they smoke everything on the street corners.
Yeah,
I was just in San.
When I was moving from Miami to Tampa for this job, the U-Haul rental guy, it was also a weed shop, and he was just like, like my stepdad smoked weed, so I was like, hey, let me, do I need a license to buy these so I can give it to my stepdad as a thank you for helping me move? And he was like, no, you can just buy them, it's fine. It was like, doesn't seem right, but okay.
Okay, so we know why he had a U-Haul then. That's probably how he was picking up and moving stuff, was with the non-rented U-Haul trailers.
Yeah. Well, yeah, maybe we may have a really good business going on there.
So yeah, right. I mean, he's distributing in a few different ways. Thank God, yeah, cigar smoking is allowed on the beach only. See, does that mean like you can't smoke cigarettes on the beach? Is that because of the filters?
No cigarette, no vape.
I didn't know that. I didn't vape too.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
just cigars. Cigar City. Tampa was built on cigars, so they
certainly was. So how was your move down? Where were you moving from again?
Miami.
Down to Tampa. So that's a couple hours from itself, but you're on the opposite side of the coast.
Yeah, it's about 4 hours.
Was that any different? Did you know people? I assume you already knew people in Tampa, so it was an easy transition for you.
Not really. I mean, I just knew the people at Davidoff. That was about it. And I know the owner of Grand Cathedral Cigars, Angela Yu, is a good friend of mine, and that was it.
Okay. So where's your home base when you do get an opportunity to actually go to Tampa? Where's your home base for a cigar shop?
I wasn't joking. I live like 10 feet from Davidoff's headquarters. So I'm like, I have an apartment complex that's right across the street from our office.
So I was talking about do they have a lounge there? I've never been to Davidoff headquarters. Like I was talking lounge. I was talking lounge, home base lounge.
We all go to Central Cigar in downtown St. Petersburg.
Okay. So not in Tampa. You guys go a little bit outside.
Yeah, we either go there or we go to Corona Cigar Tampa.
Yep, Corona Tampa's nice.
Yeah,
Corona Tampa's nice.
King Corona is another one we like to go to.
Okay, so where is the state that's accepting Zino Nicaragua the best so far that you've seen? Like,
honestly,
what's leading the way?
It's hard to know because like a lot of states have distributors, so there'll be a cigar retail shop, but there'll also be a distribution company. And then like, you'll have a company like Blend Bar, right? Blend Bar they're super nice Davidoff bars where you can have like a 5-star dinner and then smoke your cigar at the dinner table. But their headquarters is in Texas. And then they have their other shops around the country. So we'll send everything there. So it makes it look like that is the #1 sales area, but it's not because they distribute it all over. So it's hard to know. The number one Zino retail operation, like solo retail operation, is actually here in Illinois.
Really?
Yeah. So they're like a top 10 Zeno account, but they only have one retail shop.
Where in Illinois?
Ah, it's like southwest of Chicago. I can't remember the actual city. I think it's called
Oak Lawn, Orland, Payless,
yeah.
Tinley, somewhere in that range.
I don't know. You'd think I would know this thing, right? I was looking it up last year. I don't know if they're still standing this year because we've sold a lot more Zeno this year. So I don't know if they're still the reigning king, but they were last year.
So, being that you just brought up selling a lot more Zeno, I want to break down that growth number if we can. Explain
Yeah.
where that growth number comes out of. What's aggregating into that number?
So we have all kinds of numbers. Like
It's in
every day
Homer
we
Glen, Jared said.
Is it what?
It's in Homer Glen, he said.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Habano's Cigar Lounge.
There you go. So he would know. That's his account. But so we get Davidoff's very transparent with their numbers. So every day, every employee gets a full printout of all of our sales numbers, all of our volume numbers, like everything, and gets emailed to us. So we, our numbers. I always look at the dollar numbers,
Mhm.
and that's we're up 30% year over year, and we haven't done a price increase on that cigar. So, that's a pretty reliable number. But I don't know. I should go and look at the.
Does that 30% encompass new shops that picked you guys up? Like can
Oh,
somebody
absolutely.
be a Zeno Nicaragua shop and not be a Davidoff shop?
Yeah. So to be a Davidoff shop is pretty difficult to do. Like it's a very coveted thing to have.
Well, for the
So
full Davidoff display, yes, but I've seen Davidoff cigars in lounges that aren't Davidoff shops.
we have they can get them from distributors. They pay like a 15% markup, or we have these special Horeca accounts, which is a European. Horeca is a European body that oversees hotels and restaurants. So if you fall into that category, you can have like a small Davidoff section. But for the most part, no, you can carry all of our other brands but Davidoff. But you have to be special to carry Davidoff.
Okay, but they could carry exclusively Zeno Nicaragua only if that's what they want.
Oh yeah, all day.
Okay,
And we had a lot of new accounts pick it up this year, like from top to bottom.
So walk through. So when you say a lot of new accounts, how many new accounts are we talking on average? Not specifics, of course.
I don't know that number because I haven't. So we have our business development team, and these guys are like the masters of Excel. So any data you want, they're like, yep, emailed it to you. Like you get any data you want. They're crazy with it. And so, but I haven't been in the office in like months, so I haven't asked for any data recently, so I can't tell you that one.
Now, well, maybe you could tell us. Is there shops that are Davidoff shops that don't carry Zeno Nicaragua?
Last year there was a lot of pushback on it. They're like, we don't want to harm the Davidoff brand by selling this cigar. But this year people are starting to realize like, hey, this does not hurt Davidoff sales at all. Like this is made for somebody else. Nobody's going to stop smoking Grand Cru because they tried a Zeno Nicaragua.
And in fact, this might be their first experience into a Davidoff brand to begin with, which might then get them to go, let me try.
Yeah.
What are their other ones? I mean, if you think about it, you would think the reverse is true on that. It would help the Davidoff brand by allowing people an entry into the Davidoff label.
Yes. So our number one account in the country, they were pretty resistant last year. Like we don't want to do this Zeno event. We don't want to, it just doesn't fit with our super high end clientele. And then one of their like 5 locations was like, you know what, we'll try it out. And they did the event, and they're like, wow, this actually worked out really well for us. So then the other shops were like, all right, let's get in on this. And then this year they were fighting over who was getting to do Zeno events.
See, you're doing a great job, man. I mean, your numbers are going up. The team's doing great. I mean, you're out there. You're doing what you should be doing, and you're growing the brand.
Like you could literally hire a robot to hand out the cigar for
Oh,
free.
stop. Your personality though, dude. Like you got a big personality with it. You're fun, you're fun to talk to chat with, to meet. So like I get it. That's what you want in an ambassador. You don't want a timid person. You want the loudest guy in the room with purpose. Not loud
Yeah,
for loud's sake, but loud with purpose. And I think you do a really good job with that.
thank you.
And watching you travel and watching some of the events that you've been at and reading stuff, like you've done a really good job. And in fact, Zino was one of the few areas in Davidoff that had a positive growth,
Yeah.
according to their numbers. So
I mean,
you know,
it's the perfect cigar for the times.
it
They're
is.
watching the stock market. They're like, I don't know, is it going up? Is it going down? I'll hang out. I'll hold on to my money just in case, and then like, oh, this company has a very affordable cigar. That's what we need right now. We don't need more $50 cigars, $100 cigars. We need more of these $8 cigars.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Morg, how you doing? No, amen to that for sure. Amen to that for sure. Need more of higher quality, lesser price cigars. I feel, and you could attest to this. You've been a PCA the last several years. I feel like the last 2 years have been the years of the $100 cigar. The
Yeah,
years of the very expensive cigar, and it's nice to have a brand coming on like Davidoff making a great entry level cigar.
yeah.
Sometimes, us people, it's hard sometimes when you feel like I want to try this. Oh, it's $30 a stick. That's a huge commitment for somebody. So, um,
It is.
wh-
That's a hard because I was a 15 to $20 cigar smoker. And like when I wanted like a Friday night after work, when I really wanted to like celebrate the end of the week, I would go for a $30 cigar. But it's so hard to be like, which one am I gonna try? Because I can normally get 2 cigars for this price. So you're like, oh, where do I go?
I
But for like an
agree.
$8 cigar, you could just be like, oh, I could try that, no problem.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I could have three of them in one night and to equal up to one, you
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
So here in closing, I just got some lightning round questions I want to throw at you. What is your favorite rapper? Now you could give me musician or you could give me cigar rapper or both. It's up to you. I've had people do both. So what's your favorite rapper?
I'm a huge fan of Pennsylvania Broadleaf. I love that wrapper. And I don't think we do very much with it. Hopefully in the future I can change that at Davidoff, but I just love that ultra leathery, chocolatey wrapper.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, you gotta fight Nick. He's the king of the broadleaf, so you gotta fight Nick for any
Yes, yes.
broadleaf left over.
I
What?
mean, Davidoff has a lot of unique wrappers that nobody else uses on any other cigar. Like the wrapper on the Millennium, like I didn't know that cigar before. That is only used on the Davidoff Millennium, and it has such a strong like dry plum flavor in it. Like I love it so much.
Oh yeah, I broadleaf. It's one of those cigars that I know a Toro is gonna take a long time to finish. I like the fact that the broadleaf, when rolled right, it's a
Yeah.
longer experience. It's a longer smoke, at least in my experience.
No,
It's a slower
what I'm
burn.
saying is the Davidoff Millennium doesn't have a broadleaf on it. It's a wrapper that nobody else has, right? And we only use it on that cigar. And it grows in a
Oh, I'm
very
sorry, I
hard,
misunderstood.
yeah. And it's a they made it. It took like 300 iterations of hybrid seeds to figure out what would grow in that particular area, and then they picked the 151st one, and that's where that wrapper comes from. So when you say your favorite wrapper, I'm like my favorite mass produced wrapper would be a Pennsylvania broadleaf, but there's a lot of like rarer wrappers out there that people would never think of because they're just like one-offs or they're so rare. There's a whole lot of wrappers that most people don't know about.
Okay, so you gave me a new category, a mass. I didn't think of it like that. You're 100% right. There's a lot of one-off wrappers made for specific cigars that aren't anywhere else other than on those cigars. So I guess I never thought about it that way either. So mass
Yeah.
produced is broadleaf. Okay. And then what is your favorite pairing?
Um, Before this cigar, I would tell you it was, like a Davidoff late hour with uh like a Ardbeg 10. just like strong cigar, strong Scotch, smoky flavor. That was it. But now this is gonna sound like I'm shilling for my product, but it is a Zino Nicaragua with specifically a cafe con leche, like a Miami style coffee.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very creamy, sweet coffee paired with the Zino Nicaragua. That is my favorite pairing now.
See, though, I like the fact that that's your favorite pairing because you have to eat, drink, sleep, and breathe your own product and that enthusiasm for it, and it shows that you do. I like the fact that you enjoy your cigar in the morning. You're not jaded by it, so it's a testament to the cigar too, that it's not boring, it's not dull, and it doesn't get old.
Yeah. No, it really doesn't. I've smoked 400 Zino Nicaraguas in the last year. And I'm just like, I'm waiting for that point where I'm like, look at it and I'm like, shudder, just like, but it's not coming. It just hasn't came.
Oh, that's a good testament for this. So, what is your favorite cut?
My favorite cut. I like a straight cut.
Straight cut.
So I went through the whole. Started with a straight cut, then I really got into punch cuts, and I really got into V cuts, and I came back to the straight cut, and that's mostly because that's how the blender intends you to taste the cigar, because they do a straight cut at the factory, they blend the cigar for that specific flavor, so that's how I like to do mine.
Okay. And what's an activity you love to do smoking a cigar?
Just hang out with the boys. I love to have just one of those off the wall conversations where we're all saying stuff we shouldn't be saying and having a good laugh and smoking cigars. That's that every day, all day. I'll do that.
How do you want the cigar community to remember La Ream when La Ream is done and gone?
As like an educator to new smokers, like I get so giddy every time I meet somebody that's new to cigars. I guess that's like most old guys. Like if you go to the golf range and you've never golfed before, like 8 guys will come up, let me teach you. No, let me teach you. Like, we just love passing shit on to the younger generations. But I was doing an event actually at the shop in Youngstown, Ohio, where we had the end of the year Camacho event. And there were 3 guys that just got into smoking, and I taught them like 3 simple little tricks, and they're like, oh my God, you're changing the way I smoke completely. And I really enjoyed that.
Corey says, as a freaking legend. No, it's awesome. I like the fact that you're not jaded through all of this travel, that you still get giddy about showing your cigar off. Like, again, that's what makes a good brand ambassador a great brand ambassador, is you literally are always the Zino guy, right?
Yeah.
And that's awesome. Let's see. You found the right place for off the wall then at Rocky Mountains Cigar Show. Yes.
Yeah.
So I always like asking this question, just because it's kind of an introspective style question. There's absolutely no wrong answer. I stole this question from inside the actor studio with James Lipton.
Nice.
When you meet your creator, whoever that may be, doesn't matter to me. What do you want to hear?
I want him to do. What was that movie with Adam Sandler where he had the remote and he can go back and forth in time?
Click. Yes.
Yeah. I want him to hand me that remote and be like, go relive any moment in your life you want to again. And like, just go redo everything I messed up, or go try like, some of the first, some of the cigars that you had that first time. And I was just like, relive all those moments.
That would be fun. And you got to be back at a certain, when the street lights come on, you got to go back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like when we were kids, when the street lights come on.
Most of the stuff I did at night.
Who or what historical figure, not Jesus or Moses or any cop-outs like that, but what historical figure would you bring a Zino Nicaragua cigar and smoke, and what would you pair it with? I
would definitely bring it to Benjamin Franklin.
Okay.
That guy was everyone knows him for inventing a bunch of shit, but what he was really good at, he was the ambassador to France for America, and France didn't want him. He stayed in France for like 8 years. He kept writing his wife letters. It's like, hey, sorry, I'm not coming home again, or it's like. He died and he still didn't go home because he was so busy entertaining everyone, because everyone just like he was the most fashion forward, like funnest guy at the party.
Oh
So
yeah.
I would definitely smoke one with Benjamin Franklin, see what that was all about, and probably introduce him to a cafe con leche.
Yes, without Benjamin Franklin, we would have never have had our asses saved by France.
Yeah.
Benjamin Franklin was the key reason. He dragged John Adams over there, and John Adams hated it. Hated the debauchery that was going on. Benjamin Franklin fit right in.
A whole bunch of that. He was actually one of the worst husbands ever. His wife was like, "I'm sick, I'm dying," and he's like, "Oh, that's sad. There's some girls with some big boobs in front of me." Like,
if I leave now, I could be home in 2 years. Can you hold out?
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, Law, here in closing, I'm going to give you the floor. Tell everybody again who you are, how to find you, and where you're going to be at in Illinois.
So we're doing Humidor of Lisle tomorrow, which last year was one of our best events. And then on Saturday, we'll be at the Brew City Cigar Fest in Wisconsin. And then they can find me at Tobacco Cupcake on Instagram. That's where I'm mostly at. And yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, Law, this has been absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I hope you had fun. I'd like to think I've seen interviews with you before. I definitely went down some new avenues I've not heard you talk about. So that was fun. Appreciate you being willing to kind of go down that, a little bit about your military background. That was exciting. Like I said, now I get to say I know a SWIC guy.
Yeah, right.
So, and I'll throw that around. I only got one friend that I know from a SEAL, and I haven't talked to him in forever. So now I have the SWIC guy. So that works out well. But thank you so much.
Credit with him. He'd be like, "Oh, you're friends with a SWIC.
Hey, I don't really care. You're a good guy. You do what you work hard. You travel like crazy, and you bust your ass. And we appreciate you for it. We appreciate all that you've done for the cigar community before and after Zino, and I'll just say it all to come. And it's really going to be a lot of fun to kind of watch your career as you slowly take over Zino. And eventually we'll probably be running the company if that's what you want to do. I'm sure you can.
It can happen. Our current chief of sales for Global is he started as the Avo product manager, so it's possible.
It's very possible. It's very possible for sure. So we'll definitely be on the lookout to see where you're going to be at with the banana over the next 6 months till the end of the year. So you always have a home here. Stick around here after the show real quick. But until we see you all again, smoke what you like. Smoke as much Zino Nicaragua as you can. Have a great rest.